reconvene into open session. Welcome, everyone. And if we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh. Okay. All right, items 7 point, did I miss one? Sorry. Nope. Item 7.1, public testimony. During meetings of the Board of Trustees, members of the public have an opportunity to comment on items that appear on the agenda or items that do not appear on the agenda but are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. Individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on each agenda or non-agenda item. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. Speakers may not yield or donate time to their any of their speaking time to another speaker. With board consent, the president may increase or decrease the time allowed for public presentation depending on the topic and the number of persons wishing to be heard. The president may take a poll of the speakers for or against a particular issue and may ask that additional persons speak only if they have something new to add. The board shall not prohibit public criticism of the policies, procedures, programs, or services of the district or of acts or omissions of the board. Speakers are informed that the opportunity to address the board does not confer any privilege or protection for expression beyond that provided by the law. All right, and so I would like to invite Mr. Doug Slay to the podium, please. Doug, did I say it wrong? Story? Sorry. Yeah, that's all right. That T looks like an L.
Yeah. I don't have nice teacher writing, so
I don't
apologize.
either.
I apologize.
So,
Thank you very much. My name is Doug Story, and I am the Director of Community Services for the City of Beaumont. And I wanted to come before the board tonight and just extend my appreciation for the great partnership that we've had. Tonight you'll be considering an MOU for our use of the pool for our summer swim program. And this swim lesson program has been going on for a few years. This will be our third summer. It's become a very successful program for our community, and we greatly appreciate the use of your pool up at the high school. Your staff in helping coordinate this process with all the fun MOU things and insurance and all that great stuff with Anna and Jacob up at the high school have been fantastic to work with, and I just really appreciate the benefit to our community that is through this partnership. Through this partnership, we've been able to have numerous families in our community be able to learn to swim, which is an important skill, not just for its fun nature, but really for its safety. And it's something that our department and our city really stand behind, and we're really proud to offer it, and it wouldn't be possible without this partnership with you. And so I just wanted to come and extend my gratitude and my appreciation to the board, to the staff, and to everybody, and we're looking forward to another great summer. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
thank you. So I'd like to add that my son was involved in the summer swim program for 3 years, and it was instrumental, and so I think it's an amazing thing for our community.
Yeah.
As well.
Appreciate it.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so item 8.1, approve the recommended action for student discipline cases 202-526-15, 206-526-16, 2025-26-15, 202-526-16, 202-526-17. Do I hear a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. And the motion carries. Item 9.1, report out of closed session, Mr. Sanchez.
We did have action in closed session. It was moved by myself, David Sanchez, and seconded by Melissa Williamson to reject the claim number 202526-23. The vote was unanimous.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. And item 9.2, we will receive a report from our student board member, Caden Alderson.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'm excited to share our secondary school site's great events, activities, and accomplishments. Starting off with Mountain View Middle School. The Mountain View Middle School Counseling Team opened a staff pop-up wellness center and the new Student Wellness Center for Staff Appreciation Week. The Cougar Marching Band, Color Guard, and Cheer Squad marched from its small world down Main Street at Disneyland. The Cougar Yearbook team spent the day at Universal Studios celebrating the completion of the 2025 through 26 yearbook. The school team celebrated Staff Appreciation Week with Principal Sean Dickinson putting his grilling skills to use for the entire staff to enjoy lunch. The school celebrated the hard work, dedication, and teamwork of the athletes. On to San Gorgonio. It is award season and the San Gorgonio Middle School had lots to celebrate. Team members Leo Maybe, Anna Meza, and Amanda Casetta were recognized at the Riverside County Office of Education celebrating educators lunch on May 6th. Team member Elva Paz was recognized as the best bilingual educators succeeding together, Teacher of the Year by the Riverside County Office of Education on April 24th. Avid students Alicia Flores and Rania Lagante were recognized at UC Riverside as avid standout students. Erica Rivera, along with other Beaumont Unified School District staff members, were recognized at the Riverside County Special Education Local Plan Area Awards for their contributions to special education. A new school mural is underway thanks to a collaboration with artist Tyson Knight, the Student Art Club, and ASB students. Special thanks to the Expanded Learning Department and Michael Griffin for supporting this after-school opportunity. The school recently hosted an Avid Family Night. Avid students served families dinners and walked them through a curated exhibit of college and career research projects. On to Beaumont High School. Congratulations to the Beaumont High School Color Guard for finishing in second place out of 22 schools in their first season. Students in the engineering program built an 8x12 shed in accordance with the Cal OSHA, and Union Carpenter standards as part of a design and building competition. Students took part in every 15-minute program, which showed the impact of students who drive under the influence. Students from Summerlin Trails School visited the high school to watch the musical Hairspray and participated in a meet and greet with the cast and crew. This year's high school prom was an extraordinarily fun event held at Palm Springs Air Museum. Lastly, congratulations to the boys volleyball team for winning another Citrus Belt title after 13-0 in league games. On to Glenview High School. Glenview High School's Joshua Bitron was recently honored by the Riverside County Bar Association as a recipient of the prestigious Good Citizenship Award for his character and service to others. In athletics, Coyote soccer was in full swing during the fourth quarter. A special thank you to Coach Romero for her incredible dedication and work with the team. Glenview High School has officially received the California Model Continuation High School Award. Thank you to board member Melissa Williamson for being with the team to celebrate this wonderful milestone. Finally, committed Coyotes were recognized for their outstanding third quarter achievements in academics, behavior, and attendance. Congratulations to all of Glenview's dedicated students. On to 21st Century Learning Institute. 21st Century Learning Institute student Evan Sterling, 21st Century Learning Institute student Evan Sterling has received the prestigious Good Citizenship Award from the Riverside County Bar Association, honoring exemplary leadership and community spirit. Senior Kate Hernandez has been named this year's Beaumont Alternative Education Student of the Year. Kate was elected for her incredible resilience and perseverance in overcoming obstacles throughout her academic journey. 21st Century continues to foster engagement through monthly in-person STEAM activities hosted by the Social Club for elementary and middle school students. Lastly, senior students recently participated in this College Signing Day event, proudly sharing the colleges and universities they have committed to attending. A special thank you to Counselor Mrs. Kelly Boatman for organizing this memorable event for our seniors. On Beaumont Middle College. Beaumont Middle College High School has been officially honored with the California Distinguished School Award. Special thanks to Board President Jeff Brown, Superintendent Mace Kakish, and several cabinet members and staff for celebrating this significant milestone with us. The Phoenix History Bowl team traveled to Washington, D.C. to compete against top high school students from across the country, proudly representing for both their school and the district. Deanna Nichols received the Good Citizenship Award from the Riverside County Bar Association, an honor recognizing her exemplary character and leadership. Lastly, the school, alongside 21st Century Institute and Glenview High School, held their senior awards night celebrating the class of 2026. Special recognition to Counselor Kelly Bowman for organizing the event. 5 seniors will be graduating with 1 or more associate's degree from Mount San Jacinto College, and additionally, I will be graduating from College of the Desert with 2 of my associate's degrees as well. Moving on to Beaumont Adult School. The Beaumont Adult School adult transition staff and students attended Captain X, a regional autism event, selling coffee from the Beaumont Bean and handmade beaded lanyards, keychains, and pens. Vocational nursing classes 39 and 41 participated in Disaster Day, a large-scale simulation designed to practice emergency response protocols and clinical interventions during real-life disaster scenarios, blood and all. To encourage students to continue their education, students enrolled in the high school diploma in English as a second language programs toward Crafton Hills Community College. And as always, thank you to all of our parents, families, and staff. This concludes the presentation on events and activities taking place at our secondary school sites.
Thank you, Caden. Item 9.3, receive a report from the superintendent and review the district calendar for the months of May and June 2026.
Good evening, everyone. If we can move to the next slide. So I want to start by acknowledging the advocacy trip, Coast to Coast, which is a combined effort by AXA, the Association of School Administrators in California, and CSBA, California School Boards Association. The trip was successful. We were able to have legislators hear our concerns and needs in the areas of CTE, online safety, and artificial intelligence, AI. We've also actually continued the effort from previous years regarding special education funding. And then this is the month of celebrations, so we had our retirement recognition dinner, and that is an annual event now. People look forward for this event, and our human resources staff and the committee do a great job of setting up for that and to honor and value all of our employees. The theme was Western, as you can see, and then we've recognized retirees, years of service for employees, and employees of the year. Board President Jeff Brown, Vice President Dr. Sylvester, and Board Member Susie Lara were in presence. And then at Student of the Year dinner, it's an annual event, kind of the cumulative event of Student of the Month that we have throughout the months of the year. We had 2 students, Beaumont High School senior Adrian Wilson and 21st Century Learning Institute senior Kate Hernandez received the scholarship for Student of the Year. Dan Hughes scholarship recipient was Noah Pinto from Beaumont High School. Graduation honor cords were distributed at the event, and in attendance was Board President Jeff Brown, Board Clerk David Sanchez, Board Member Mrs. Williamson, and all cabinet members. Oops, I'm sorry. What's happened here? Sorry, I lost my space. For Scholarship Awards Tea, this is an event that's actually hosted by Calamasa Chamber of Commerce, and we had the honor of having 5 of the 7 recipients come from Beaumont High School, and you see their names on the slide. Congratulations to all of our students that were honored. And then also our alternative high schools senior award night. We had 21st Century Learning Institute, Glenview High School, and Beaumont Middle College High School participate in this event. Graduation honor cords, stoles, and scholarships were distributed, and our president, our clerk, and Mrs. Williamson and Mrs. Lara were in attendance. Congratulations to all of the recipients. Beaumont High School Senior Award Nights was on May 21st, and graduation honor cords, stoles, scholarships were distributed, and Mrs. Lara represented the board at that event. Congratulations to all of the seniors. There's so many to celebrate. As for the calendar updates, I just want to highlight that tomorrow we have a ribbon cutting for the kitchen and the shade structure renovation at Palm. And then adult school graduation will be on the 29th. As for June, we have an alternative high school graduation on June 2nd. June 3rd, we will be distributing graduation tickets for Beaumont High School, and June 4th is Beaumont High School graduation.
What time tomorrow?
I'm sorry?
What time tomorrow?
8:30. 8:30 in the morning. And on June 8th through July 17th, we will have, I just want to highlight that we'll have the free summer meal service. It's something that we really are doing a joint effort with Banning to publish all of these locations for our community to be able to access meals all throughout the summer. June 8th through June 3rd, we have an extended school year for our students with special needs and all throughout our district. June 9th through the 2nd, we have the summer program for TK8 grades, Beaumont High School Summer School, and Career Explorer Labs. On June 9th, we will have our next board meeting, and that concludes the report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Ms. Kakish. Item 10.1, the Board of Trustees for Beaumont Unified School District will recognize Petra Rathfelder and Caden Alderson for their service to the district as student board members for the 25-26 school year.
I think we'll go down and.
Yes, please.
It doesn't matter. I'm just saying.
Read that. Thank you so much for your service to Beaumont Unified.
Thank you.
Alderson, thank you so much for your service to Beaumont Unified.
Congratulations, and thank you so much for your service. You guys, thank you so much. Thank you. Should we do two rows? Think we can go on?
Thank you.
My husband's standing back. Yes.
Yeah, you're right, that looks nice. Let's actually,
In the
if we're
center,
gonna
just-
coordinate this, we'll have you stand up. No, that's a little too long. Oh, wait, okay. Okay, perfect. Ready, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Perfect, you guys look great, thank you.
Thank you.
Get used to it. This is a long morning.
It's a long word tonight.
I asked this one if she could do something.
So I want to thank the families too. I know you guys are heading out in the back, but thank you so much for all of the commitment of the entire families for coming and participating and just being involved for your students. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that's
Mr.
your
President,
7-year.
can I just say a word to Caden?
Yes, ma'am.
So this was my first time down this way on the dais, and it was so fun being with you down here and seeing you grow and you building your confidence, and it's made my time very enjoyable. So congratulations on your not one but two associate degrees, and thanks for spending time with me down here.
Thank you. Moving on, item 11.1, receive a presentation on the District English Language Advisory Committee, DLAC, for 2025-26.
Right. Good evening, Superintendent Kakish, President Brown, and Board of Trustees members. Thank you so much for giving us the time to update you on the work of the Beaumont USD District English Learner Advisory Committee. We have our DLAC members here tonight, and we will be presenting along with our staff members who support our English language learner programs. Our DLAC members are Ava Romero, Maria Turin, Ana Maria Villaseñor, Anna Monroy, and Gustavo Mungia. We also have instructional coaches Olivia Roscoe and Marie Ferguson in attendance, and I'm Matt Barnett, the Director of K-12 Programs. Everything we do is aligned to our district's mission statement. Specifically, we work to create high-quality educational opportunities for all of our students through a shared commitment. Our learning target for this presentation is for you to be able to explain our actions to support English learners and involve parents.
The DLAC is a community that is designed to advise district officials on English learner programs and services. Parents are the most important part of our DLAC. We also have district staff members and other community members that attend our meetings. We have 3 DLAC meetings a year.
At each meeting, we review the language census, which shows that we have 6 languages spoken in Beaumont. We also review the importance of attendance and have reports from the district schools. This year, we updated our reclassification criteria for our students in middle school. This change was in response to the middle school students taking the STAR reading test as a universal screener. Middle school students must have at least an 835 Lexile score to be reclassified.
The DLAC gave an input about the local accountability plan. The presentation during the meeting discussed what the LCAP is and how it is created. DLAC participants gave an input to suggest actions for the LCAP. Parents, teachers, and paraeducators had the opportunity to go to a training event on May 12th. Presented by the California Association for Bilingual Education. This event, called GABE One Day Regional Conference, was informative to all that attended. This was the first year the Beaumont Unified School District presented at GABE. Olivia and Marie led a presentation about designated and integrated ELD.
A duty of DLAC, sorry for my voice, I lost it. A duty of DLAC is to review the annual parent notification for Beaumont USD. Specifically, we review the parent program notification and the DLI program request at annual additional school. To DLAC, learn about the reclassification celebration that took place on January 28th. We celebrated the 112 students that were reclassified from May 2025 to January 2026.
The DLAC learned about the needs of Beaumont USD as the district grows. The DLAC learned that the project built out in 15-20 years will have the district grow to over 20,000 students. The DLAC also learned that the district has a few different funding options for building the additional facilities to support Beaumont's growth in the next 15-20 years. The DLAC learned about the Bilingual Educators Succeeding Together celebration on April the 24th. Beaumont had multiple awards winner, with Elba Paz being recognized as Beaumont's representative for Best Teacher of the Year. Also, Brandon Arrogante, a DLI student at Beaumont High School, won a $1,000 scholarship. We also recognized Eva Romero as our Parent Volunteer of the Year. The district also had several nominees for the best awards.
The DLAC meetings have been scheduled for the 2026-27 school year. We invite you to come and participate in one of our meetings. We hope you learn about the DLAC, that it is designed to give parents input for our EL programs, that we support our students through learning opportunities, curriculum, and input into our programs and funding priorities. We thank you for the opportunity to present to you tonight.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Barnett, and thank you to the whole committee.
Thank you for all your time and effort you put into the DLAC committee.
Thank you.
Item 12.1, approve the consent agenda. Items prepared for the consent agenda are consistent with adopted approved policies of the district and are deemed routine in nature. They will be acted upon in a single motion without discussion unless a member of the Board of Trustees requested an item be removed from consent agenda. In that event, it will be taken up in the order indicated on the main agenda. Would anyone like to remove something?
No.
Is there a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
All right, call for the vote. And the motion carries. Sorry, let me get caught up now. All right. Item 14.1, receive a presentation on the 2026-27 Local Control and Accountability Plan in conjunction with the budget overview for parents.
Good evening, President Brown, board members, Superintendent Kakish, cabinet members, colleagues, families, and friends. Tonight, I'm going to present an overview of the LCAP for the next school year. And so we're going to go over what that looks like and what our current UPP percentage is, an overview of the budget overview for parents. We'll review some state priorities that we've done before, go over the plan summary, explain our engaging educational partner process, go over the goals, actions, any key changes, and then the LCAP budget overall. And so just as a refresher, the LCAP is a 3-year cycle, and next year will be the 3rd year of that 3-year cycle. This school year, 25-26, on census day, which is October 1st this year, our ELs were at 6.6% of our student population. Our low-income socioeconomically disadvantaged students, or SED, was at 70.2%. Our foster youth is 0.7%, so that's a total of 71.4% of unduplicated pupil percentage. This is the budget overview for the parents. If you look at it, you see the district's entire budget, and then the LCAP portion, which is roughly about 14% of it, the LCFF, supplemental, and concentration. And so the LCAP is tied to the state priorities and goals. And so the 8 state priorities that the districts go by are these, and I know these are not first time for you. We've gone over this many times, but basic necessities, implementation of state standards, access to courses is the condition of learning. We have student achievement, other student outcomes, being part of student outcome, and then we have school climate, student engagement, and parental involvement being part of engagement. And so when we reflect on this current year, we have many successes, and I believe you are very familiar with the academic successes that we've enjoyed from the hard labor of all stakeholders. We had the huge growth in the CASP. We had graduation rate and high AP passage rate, as well as a high involvement in dual enrollment. We also were able to reduce the DNF rate for the 6th and the 7th through 10th grade by targeting those classes. We also had high success with wellness and organizational culture, as listed here on this slide, social emotional growth, parental trust, teacher culture dedication. 97% of teachers report their work is meaningful. And 100% school site council compliance. And then in attendance and student engagement, we continue to improve. Chronic absenteeism has decreased by 10.9% overall, and that's huge. Suspension rate has decreased 0.9%. Keep in mind, 0.9% is huge when we're talking about low percentages to begin with. And then college and career indicator overall of 4.5%. Chronic absenteeism indicator and suspension rate also has shown huge growth. But keep in mind that we continue to work on these groups, and because it's a 3-year cycle, the data that we created, the 3-year cycle, was from 22-23. So information on this slide is as it was in 22-23, because again, it's a 3-year cycle. So next year, we're gonna work on the brand new 3-year cycle, and so next year's data is what's gonna stick with us as the needs for the next 3 years. So Equity Multiplier School was something new that I had presented last year. So this continues to be applied to us. We have 2 schools with greater than 25% non-stability rate because of the students coming in and out. And then 70% SED rate is the other factor that these 2 are the criteria for the Equity Multiplier Schools. So the 2 schools are 21st Century, which has 54.5% non-stability rate and 72% SED. And then Glenview High School, 69% non-stability rate, and then 75.4% SED. And what that means is the state provides additional dollars specifically to these 2 schools to apply for their students with the greatest needs. In terms of engaging educational partners, we gathered information from the students through surveys, focus group interviews. Parents, families, communities were engaged through various committees, as well as survey, as well as groups, committees through the LCAP process. We had staff input through various levels, external partners, and specific meetings were held at Equity Multiplier Schools, so I was out there joining their groups as well, because that's one of the requirements. And then how we engage them, for example, LCAP Advisory Committee, we went over the data, we gathered input, we looked at each of the actions, and then provided feedback based on what the data said about the actions. We continued that process at all different levels, including stakeholders, as well as with various directors, principals, site, staff, all of the surveys, and that's all brought together in this process. And it takes the whole year. And so here are some examples where the feedback provided by the engaged educational partners impacted actual outcomes and changes to the actions. These are the 5 goals. They're pretty much the same. First 3 are identical. The 4th one and 5th one were fine-tuned because unlike the LCAP, equity multiplier is an annual goal and not a 3 years goal. And so based on their data, we take whatever the lowest performing group is and we focus on those. So here I listed key changes. These are not every change, it's key changes. And so for goal 1.3, we moved one of the student support services, for example, to create a separate goal specifically to support foster youth. And so you might see that in multiple areas because we took different parts and pulled it together so that we could have a focused support for foster youth because that continues to be an area of need. And so here is a summary of each of the actions in goal 1. Continuing with goal 1, and 1.9, for example, is an area where we're seeing a lot of success with student engagement. It's where we have the athletics program support at the middle schools and the alternative high schools. So for goal 2, these are the major key changes. And if you look at 2.21, 2.22, and 2.23, and 2.24, they are new. You'll also notice 2.20 are discontinued. We are not required to discontinue or add new goals and actions every year. We're required to reflect on it every 3 years. However, in the process, when we see that something's not working, we're not going to continue. And so 2.20 is the partnership we had with Harmony Haven, for example. We are not seeing it working at all, and so we made those changes right away. However, there is 2.22 that now will support foster youth. And so here's a summary of 2.1 through 2.8. 2.9 through 2.16. And because goal 2 is heavy on the academics, really the chunk of what we're trying to do, we have the most actions here. And then goal 3 is about the learning environment. And here are some of the major changes that we have, including 3.10, where we added a compliance and resolution coordinator. And so here's 3.1 to 3.7. 3.7 supplemental software continues to be an increasing budget item because not only do the contracts go up, but we're getting more softwares that didn't exist before because of the AI and all the upcoming technology advancements. And then as I mentioned, goal 4 is equity multiplier focus goal for 21st century. And what's new for this one is 4.2, where we are adding an additional high school teacher to lower the class size, again, funded by the equity multiplier budget grant. And then here, goal 5 is for Glenview High School. And what's new here is we're trying to expand the CTE program, and so providing funds to support a teacher and some equipment. And so here's a summary overview so that you can see over the past 3 years, what the budget has been. We have the LCFF base grant, which is the big chunk that comes to the district, and then LCAP funds, which is S&C. And so you can see for 26-27, it's roughly 35 million. And then in the green is the total of those two lines. But each year, as we increase in ADA and other fund adjustments are made, we do have carryover. And so we have a carryover of 1.736. Keep in mind the budget's still being processed, and there's a lot of these numbers may be at the end of April, I believe, were the numbers. And so our total planned, although we have 35 million coming, planned is 36 because of the surplus, or the carryover, I should say, carryover that we have. All right, do you have any questions?
Good. Appreciate the report.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Suna. Item 14.2, conduct a public hearing on the 2026-27 local control and accountability plan in conjunction with the budget overview for parents. And I will open this meeting at 6:45. And discussion?
Anybody? Anybody?
Thank you again, Suna, for all the work. Thank your whole team for us. We know that it's a team effort, and a lot of people are involved in putting that together, so we appreciate it very much. And I will adjourn the meeting at 6:46. All right. Item 14.3, receive a presentation on the 2026-27 preliminary budget.
Is this thing working? Yeah, cool. Good evening, Superintendent Kakish, President Brown, members of the board, cabinet, colleagues, and community. My name is Nathan Camara, and I serve as the Director of Fiscal Services here at Beaumont Unified. And today, we will be presenting our 26-27 preliminary budget for next school year here at Beaumont Unified. So with budget, it's always it's very cyclical, right? So our fiscal year runs from July to June. So with our 26-27 budget, we are back at the beginning, starting with our July 1st date. And as always, anytime that we're budgeting, it always starts with a series of assumptions. Our assumptions will drive our revenues. They will also drive our costs. On this slide here, this has our assumptions used for the 26-27 preliminary budget. And one thing I would like to just point out throughout our slide here, a lot of these assumptions are using the January's governor's budget proposal. There was the May revision that just occurred just about a week ago, which will be incorporated into the adopted budget that we bring back to the board on June 9th. The biggest thing that changed in the May revise is the cost of living allowance, or COLA. Our preliminary budget shows 2.87. And 2.87, that is the statutory COLA for 26-27. The May revise has an augmented additional COLA of, I believe it's 1.44. So that brings the total COLA to 4.31. One interesting thing with the additional COLA from the May revise is that the additional augmented COLA should be used for rising costs and a new liability of pregnancy disability leave. But we'll bring forth an updated budget with the new COLA, but I just wanted to put that out there on our assumptions slide here. So looking at 25-26 and 26-27, you can see the COLA starting there at the top. This drives our revenue. We can also see that our district enrollment is increasing between our current year and next year. Our assumption is that enrollment continues to increase by approximately 2% each year. And then also what drives our revenue is our ADA, that is our attendance. So our attendance compared to our enrollment, that's hovering around 93.7%, and that remains the assumption moving forward. Looking at unduplicated pupils, I know we just had our LCAP presentation, so you can see that our unduplicated pupils drive our LCAP revenue. Current year was about 71.4% unduplicated pupils, and we are assuming that maintains throughout our multi-year projection. The last piece of our slide here is our retirement percentages. You can see that our state teachers' retirement remains flat, And then PERS is actually dipping a little bit from 25-26 to 26-27. Our next slide here is our general fund summary. And you can see that in 25-26, we are projecting to end the year with about $44.6 million. And our ending fund balance is made up of different components. You can see that they're broken out there, starting with revolving cash, restricted funds, those are restricted to certain grants for certain purposes. Our reserves, that is our reserve for economic uncertainty. And then we also have our commitments and assignments that are locally designated. So with our budget, there's two sides of the equation. There's revenues and expenditures. Starting with revenues, you can see that our 25-26 revenues were $235.7 million. Going into next year, we're projecting an increase from $235.7 to $245.8 million of revenue. That's primarily driven by our LCFF revenue. And again, what's driving that is our 2% increase enrollment combined with our COLA. And then this slide here, just more detail on revenue adjustments. You can see again, 2% projected enrollment growth combined with 2.87% COLA. Some other changes to our revenue is our federal revenue has a decrease there. Here at Beaumont, with our Medi-Cal revenue, we add that to the budget as we receive it. So we're taking a dip here at our adopted budget, but that can grow as Medi-Cal revenue comes to the district. Additionally, in the state revenue, we're projecting an increase due to one-time funds, primarily the Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant and the Student Support Discretionary Block Grant. So one-time restricted money coming to the district. And on the other side of our equation is our expenditures. And then you can see between 25-26 and 26-27 that we have a projected increase for our expenditures. Our biggest increase there is our capital outlay. That remains to be our expanded learning opportunities, our project that we started in 25-26, carrying forward into 26-27. So our next slide here will have that note. So through the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program, this is a restricted grant from the state for before and after school programs that we offer here at Beaumont Unified. So capital outlay, what we are doing using those grant dollars is adding portable construction to offer more access to our students throughout the district. Additionally, salary and benefits, we have projected salary and benefit increases, also driven by additional positions. We heard some in the LCAP, but also additional positions for expanded learning opportunities as that program grows. And then books and supplies, we just have carryover funds. LCAP had about a $1.7 million carryover, so one-time carryover into next year. And we also have a E-rate project that is a one-time expense next year. Moving from revenues and expenditures over to contributions from the unrestricted general fund. So this is from our unrestricted dollars to our restricted dollars. Our biggest one here is our special education contribution. We do receive money from the state for special education expenditures, but the money that we receive from the state is not enough to cover the cost of the program. So to make up the difference, a contribution is made from unrestricted dollars to cover our special education expenditures. Additionally, we are required to contribute 3% of our total budget to routine restricted maintenance. And the last piece is our transportation transfer. For transportation, we get about a 60% reimbursement from the state for our home to school transportation, but the remainder has to be made up by the general fund. So moving to the next section of the slideshow, we're going to start talking about components of the ending fund balance. And starting with restricted, these are restricted dollars that are restricted for certain purposes. You can see our biggest change here is the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program. Again, that's driven by our portable construction project that's going to continue through till next year. And also we have the Student Support and Professional Development Discretionary Block Grant, which is being expensed next year in its entirety. And then also we have our lottery restricted, which is restricted for curriculum. Moving to the next slide here, this is continuing on restricted funds. More changes that you can see here is our equity multiplier dollars at the top. being spent in our LCAP Goal 4 and LCAP Goal 5, and also our Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant. That's one-time money coming to the district. So all in all, for our restricted funds, we have about 23.8 in 25-26, which will be reduced to $10.4 million in 26-27. Sticking with the components of the ending fund balance, now we are looking at the reserve for economic uncertainties and our commitments. So at the top of the slide here, you can see that our total reserve for economic uncertainties, we meet our district required 3%, and we also have an amount for an additional reserve. You can see between 25-26 and 26-27 that decreases from 14.6 million to 13.8 million. Additionally, on top of our reserve for economic uncertainties, we also commit funds locally. Locally, we commit $1.3 million for textbook curriculum, and then we also commit any carryover amount from our LCAP, and you can see that's our $1.7 million number.
No, question.
Of course.
Are we meeting our, was it 11% in our reserves?
Yes.
For the resolution that passed way back when?
Yes, that's a great question. And to answer that question, the district is not at 11.33% at adopted. It's around 5.3, which will be in a couple slides that I will point out as well. So it's 3% that we are meeting, and then about like a 2.3% above that 3% for a total of 5.3.
Because the intent of that resolution, as you said way back when, was to have 1 month's worth of salary. So is that 5%, would that cover 1 month's worth of salary?
Yeah, so we will be able to cover 1 month worth of salary, where the 8.33% is what the calculation, what that's coming from, is that's 8.33% of the total combined general fund. To get to 8.33, it is just 1/12 of the total expenditures. So we would be able to meet 1 month of payroll, but to meet one month of all expenditures, that would include utilities, insurance, everything, I can say we are not at 11.33.
Is this something we should be concerned about? I mean, this sounds very serious.
So I'm always of the opinion that if you're balancing the budget for 3 years and you still have 3% reserve at the third year, you should not be concerned. Ideally, you should have that as a reserve, which is the 8.33, not the 11.33, 3% plus the 8.33. And we usually have it, and we will have it after the May revision additional revenue. We knew that this is very conservative at the state and there will be additional revenue. They were just underestimating the revenue, and we didn't want to just shortchange all of our support services or cut anything until we find out from the state if there's additional revenue. And sure enough, there's a higher COLA, super COLA they call it, and so that will cover a lot of what we're concerned about as a lower funding balance. But I'm not concerned because ideally, in a budget, if you stay within your revenues and your expenditures, you should be okay. It's when you're spending more than you should, and it's ongoing expenditures, not just for capital projects or buildings and one-time things, that's when there's a concern. That's called the structural deficit, and we're nowhere close to a structural deficit. We actually balance it down to the 3% reserve in the third year too. So that means we're staying within our means.
Okay, so because we're not deficit spending, we're okay to have the 3%.
Mandated at 3%.
Mandate, yeah.
But yeah, but I mean, that's the minimum.
It is the minimum at the third year. We've always had the 3%, down to the 3%
Right.
in the third year. And so if you would like, we can talk about that and reduce expenditures to get to the 8.33, which would increase the fund balance in the current year. I think our policy recommends the 8.33 and recommends cuts if it does go under 5%. And right now, we are a little bit above 5%, and with the revenue from the May revision, we're going to be a lot higher than 5%. So
But we're safer though because we're not deficit spending.
Yes, our deficit spending is for one-time things, capital outlay, spending, ending fund balance, and all of that.
Okay.
Do you
And
know
we
what
will monitor, we always have 12 months of planning in the event we don't meet the 3% reserve in the third year.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Dr. Sylvester, you were saying?
No, I was just, you said we are at 5 point, a little above 5. What are we, when you said we will do the May revisions and get that amount, what will we be at that time?
I'm not sure if Nathan calculated that, but we'll get to that when you get the multi-year projections.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's a slide
No,
from
it's
now.
okay. Great questions. Yeah, but some of our questions, I think I'll be able to answer some of them when we get to the multi-year.
All right. And I just want to go on record, every time you ask a business person, are we concerned if we're not? Of course, he's going to say yes. So I don't blame him for saying yes.
It's his job.
It's his job to say yes.
Okay, so remaining on the topic of the components of the ending fund balance, what we're looking at here is this is our assignments. Locally here at Beaumont Unified, included in our assignments are a few things, but primarily our health and welfare pools and our vacation liability. And you can see that in 25-26, the assignments are 3.1. At the end of 26-27, our assignments are projected to be 2.3. This slide here is a summary of all funds. So up to this point, we've been discussing the general fund or the operational fund of the school district, but you can see that there are several funds here at Beaumont Unified. Our total budget across all funds for 26-27 is $312 million for 26-27. And we are beginning the year with $131.9 million and ending the year with about $83.8 million, again, across all funds. Moving to the last piece of our slideshow here, this is our multi-year projection. So as with anything in budget, we always start with our assumptions, drives your revenues and your expenditures. So here in 26-27, you can see that at the top we have cost of living allowance broken out 2 times. The top line is School Services of California and what the COLA was at just a couple weeks ago. So 2.87 in 26-27, 3.06 in 27-28, and 3.34 in 28-29. Just below the School Services of California COLA is the Beaumont Unified COLA that's used in our assumption. You can see that we have 2.87 in 26-27, 3.06 in 27-28, but locally we do not use the COLA in year 3 in our multi-year projection. What's also driving our revenues across a multi-year period is our projected enrollment growth, which remains at 2%. And then you can see that's our district enrollment increasing at 2% each year, along with the average daily attendance for each fiscal year. That remains at the 93.7% ADA to enrollment ratio. And then you can also see that the unduplicated pupil percentage, the 71.4, is assumed across the multi-year projection. California State Teachers Retirement, or STRS, remains flat, while PERS kind of has a fluctuation going up and then back down.
So before you leave this slide, I want to just mention in the second row, cost of living adjustment is not budgeted in the third year. And so when you see the numbers for the third year, I'll point that out in the next slide.
Yeah, so this slide here is the multi-year projection in a combined format. So this is unrestricted and restricted. And then at the very bottom of the slide, you can see that there is a reserve for economic uncertainties of 5.3% in 26-27 at the time of the adopted budget. That decreases to 4.34 and 3.26 in year 3 or 28-29. You can see that we have a large deficit in 26-27 of $16 million, and that is intentional with one-time spending, one-time projects. And then just our next couple slides will break out our combined multi-year to unrestricted and restricted. And you can see, starting with our unrestricted, this is where our reserve for economic uncertainties lives. You can see that in 26-27, there is a decrease to our unrestricted funds of $2.63 million, 3.61 in 27-28, and 2.72 in 28-29. The big difference in 26-27 compared to other years is that we are using our restricted dollars first to preserve our reserve for economic uncertainties. So if I jump to our restricted side, remember we have one-time restricted dollars coming in 26-27, which is why our restricted expenditures are higher in 26-27 than they are in our other future years, because we are spending our most restrictive dollars first. And then you can see, so that we have a deficit in our restricted dollars. That's how we're spending from 24 million of our restricted funds down to $10 million. And then you can see that $13 million deficit in 26-27 changes to a $2 million deficit, and then it turns into a surplus in 28-29 of about $220,000. And what's driving our restricted dollars are expanded learning opportunities, Prop 28, those are our big restricted pots of funds that we are getting here at the district. And with that, I believe that concludes my presentation.
So go back to slide 17, I think.
17?
The revenue?
This is the,
combined?
Combined.
Yes. So slide 16. Yes. So let's just go over, off the top of your head, May revision additional revenue. Just in numbers, in dollars.
Mm-hmm. Approximately, I would say approximately like 2 million in terms of dollars in revenue.
For COLA?
For COLA. Mm-hmm.
And then grants and?
Yes, yeah. And then to clarify too on the COLA, remember that COLA is applied to the LCFF calculator, but that also generates our LCAP. So when I say it's $2 million, it's not $2 million of unrestricted money. It's $2 million, and of that $2 million, 500,000 is LCAP.
Yeah, I don't want to go through the detail. I just want you to give an idea
Additional
about
adjustments?
all of the dollars from May revision that will be
course.
added, so we can give the confidence to the budget.
Of course, yeah. So for COLA, probably about $2 million. What is also proposed is a change to our special education revenue, a much needed change. In January, that special education has its own base grant driven by ADA. The May revision is also proposing about like a 30% increase to that base grant, which may be another $2 million. So from those two, at least $4 million in current year revenue. But the good thing with COLA is that once it's in your LCFF, that will carry into your future years.
So the 2 million becomes 6 million over the 3 years. And the 2 million for support for special ed reduces the obligation for general fund, becomes another 6 million. So all of a sudden we have 12 million in the fund balance. And the reason why I'm going over this is to give you confidence. There's 12 million that's not in the budget right now, will be updated for the adopted. But then how much is the COLA that we are not using in third year?
Yeah, I do have that. It's approximate, so the COLA in the third year, I can just go back to the slide here. So COLA in the third year, that's 28-29. School Services of California was projecting a 3.34% COLA. Locally here at Beaumont Unified, we do not include COLA in that third year. So another 3% in year 3 may be approximately, I don't know, maybe 4 million in that
4
third
million
year.
of dollars that will be
Probably.
ongoing for the future too. So when you ask me if I'm concerned, I'm not concerned. But a business person will be concerned with all of this additional revenue not yet in the budget. So just wanted to go make sure that we have that context, because I saw your nervousness about the fund balance, and I want to make sure that we feel comfortable with this budget.
And how is this super COLA being accounted for?
How's it being accounted for?
Yeah, or not yet?
So at the preliminary, it's not being accounted for yet. Because at the time this presentation was created, the Super COLA hadn't been presented from the May revision. How will it be presented? I'll go back to the beginning of our slide here just really quickly. The biggest driver it's going to have is going to be to our LCFF revenue. So right now in 26-27, the projected number is about $181.5 million. I think the number in my head of how that COLA will impact that number in particular, I think it's another 2 million. So that 181.5 would be closer to like 183.5, and then that compounds year over year. The only thing with the multi-year projection that it's dependent on is continued growth in the district, right? Continued enrollment and revenue growth to keep pace with our rising expenditures. Those are the big assumptions in the multi-year.
On the sped ed side, the $1 million increase in program costs?
Yes.
What's driving that increase?
Of course. Yes, that's a great question. Now, with special education, what's really driving that is we have proposed compensation increases across the entire district, right? So the proposed compensation increase impact to special education is going to require an additional contribution from the general fund to support the increased costs in that bucket of money. Is that?
Yeah.
In addition to the increase in enrollment for
But this
special
doesn't
education.
show the increase that we just heard a second ago about the 30% increase in sped.
Yes,
So
yes.
That'll reduce
Yes,
it drastically.
yes. And more background on that. So this presentation was created using the January proposed budget. At January, the governor was proposing an increase to the special education base rate. It was probably, I want to say maybe 5 to 10% increase. So that has been incorporated. But past that, there's another proposed increase of, it's about, the rate that we're using is about $1,000 per ADA. But that is proposed to change from $1,000 per ADA to $1,340 per ADA. So with the additional special education revenue, hopefully that can absorb some of the special education program costs.
Okay, and Dr. Sylvester and I, as well as Ms. Kakish, when we were in DC, there was a commitment to maintain the 8% federal funding level?
Yes, yeah, for the federal special education dollars, those are being maintained for next year. So there is no reduction to our federal special education dollars. When we're talking federal dollars, the only changes that are still in the pipeline are like Title III, English learner, immigrant funds. That's kind of what's being talked about.
And that budget gets wrapped up around September 31st?
Yes, yeah, the federal budget that runs from October to September. So they're on a different fiscal year than us at a school district. Fun fact.
Thank you.
Of course.
I have a question about the Medi-Cal building. Am I on or?
No.
Okay, the light was on. Okay, cool. Has that changed, has the way that Medi-Cal, we've been doing Medi-Cal billing, did that change this year?
That hasn't changed this year. There are a lot of changes proposed with Medi-Cal billing. One of the words that you'll hear tied to Medi-Cal is an acronym. It's called CYBHI. I'm not sure if you guys are very familiar with that, but that is a new program with Medi-Cal. So Medi-Cal has there's two different branches really. There's the special education, which is what Beaumont has been billing under historically, right? And then they're bringing. It's called CYBH, it's Child Youth Behavioral Health Initiative. And what that is it uses Medi-Cal as a platform to allow school districts to bill against private insurance. It's not a cost to private insurance, not families or parents, but to the private insurance carriers. That's new, and we'll see kind of how that program grows.
Is there plans to implement that?
Yes, great question. Yeah, so with CYBHI, what's driving kind of the implementation of this? It kind of lives in our student services department. They have a great team. But what they were using as the foundation was there were a lot of mental health grants, like school-based mental health or specialty mental health. A lot of those came from the federal government, and they've pulled those back. But what our team here at Beaumont is doing is they are bringing together all of our practitioners to see what kind of services can we offer to generate additional revenue for the district locally. So that's new with Medi-Cal, but the special education piece remains the same. They're just making it much more difficult for districts to get the Medi-Cal money because at the state level, the Medi-Cal budget at the state level is very, very, very tight. About 1 in 3 people in California are on Medi-Cal. So from the state perspective, they're trying to limit their expenditures.
So that revenue is showing a decrease. Can you explain that again?
Of course, yeah, of course. Yeah, so the reason why we want to recognize Medi-Cal as we receive it is because and I'm talking about the special education Medi-Cal, this is LEA, BOP Billing Option Program. The reason why we want to recognize it when we receive it is because the state will give us advance payments, but then that goes through an audit, and until it's audited, it's not our money. So that's why we're a little bit conservative in terms of how we recognize the funds. Does that answer your question?
Right, so there was a decrease because it was recognized in last year's budget, but it's not recognized this year.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So looking at our federal revenue, because we're comparing now the end of a year to the beginning of a year. So in 25, 26, we've recognized all of the receipts, and in 26, 27, we just haven't recognized it yet.
Okay.
So during our interim periods, as we receive those dollars, we will update our budget presentation, and you'll see Medi-Cal move upwards throughout the fiscal
Okay,
year.
that makes sense. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Of course. Any other questions that I can answer for you guys? No? Cool. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you very much. All right, item 14.4, conduct a public hearing on the 2026-27 preliminary budget. I will open the hearing at 7:15. Is there any discussion? Come on, it's going to be a really long 11 seconds.
Nobody wants to say anything?
We're not the public.
Yeah.
Public
It's not us.
discussion?
Time.
Like, oh, no.
And we will close the hearing at 7:16. Item 14.5, adopt emergency resolution 2025-26-44 to approve the contract to repair the roof leaks, abatement, and to perform related work services at Brookside Elementary School.
I'll move approval.
Second.
All right, discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. And the motion carries. 14.6, conduct a second reading and adopt the Beaumont Unified School District's administrative regulation regarding business and non-instructional operations in the 3000s as listed in the summary.
So moved.
Second.
And Melissa. All right. Discussion.
Yes, just thank you for the changes made on that. I feel much more comfortable with approving this.
Me too.
So, yeah, thank you for looking into that and for making those changes.
Yeah, this one was definitely a work in progress. So I'd like to thank the whole board for the feedback and,
Yeah.
and getting this to where the community needs it to be. So thank you. All right, no additional discussions, call for the vote. And the motion carries. Item 14.7, conduct a first reading of Beaumont Unified School District's administrative regulation regarding students in the 5000s as listed in the summary and adopt if a second reading is not necessary. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
All right, discussion?
Yeah, just thank you for keeping up with the all ever-changing state regulations and for taking the time to explain them ahead of time. I appreciate it.
All right. All right. Would we like to bring this back for a second reading?
We already took a motion in a second.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
I don't think it's necessary.
All right, call for the vote? And the motion carries. Item 15.1, approve the revised 2026-27 secondary school plans for student achievement and affirm the operation of the school-wide Title I program at each Beaumont Unified School District secondary school site to receive these funds.
Move approval?
Okay,
I'll second.
Melissa plus Lance. All right. Discussion?
Just thank you for all the work you did on those.
Yes, thank you to all of you for, that's a lot of work. So,
Appreciate it.
all right, call for the vote. And the motion carries. Item 15.2, approve a request for Beaumont Middle College High School student to take additional classes for the 2026-27 school year.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
All right. Discussion?
Yes, I love it when we get these. I just think it's so cool that somebody would ask to take more classes, and so I'm just impressed every time.
Well, that kind
Yes.
of goes along with what happened at the senior awards night for 21st Century, Glenview, and all them.
So cool.
Middle college, with 6 students getting an AA. One has 3 AAs, 4 of them have 2, one has 1. It's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
that's amazing.
It's incredible.
So good.
Incredible.
So thank you very much. And yes, these are awesome to approve. There are way worse things for us to have to approve than a kid who wants to take more credits and more college classes. This is awesome. So call for the vote, please. And the motion carries. Item 15.3, accept a grant from the Gene Haas Foundation to support Beaumont Unified School District students enrolled in the machinist-based training and/or engineering programs. Do I hear a motion?
So moved?
Second.
Discussion? So I come from a family of machinists. My grandpa on both sides were both machinists, tool and die and drop forge machinists. And my uncle is a machinist even still today at almost 80. He still works in a machine shop because he doesn't know what else to do with his day. So it for a lot of years it was a dying trade, and I think it's absolutely amazing that we have a machine shop-based CTE program. I mean, it's kind of a family tradition for my family. I grew up until I was about 12 in my grandpa's machine shop, and besides the fact that you have to wear safety glasses and hearing protection, I don't really know anything about machine shops, so. Which is a little embarrassing considering my family heritage, but I do absolutely appreciate our machine program and all of our CTE programs, so yes, thank you. No other discussion, we'll call for the vote. And the motion carries. Item 16.1, adopt a resolution for the spending determination of the 2026-27 Education Protection Act Fund, the other EPA. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
All right. Discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. And the motion carries. Item 16.2, accept the California Department of Education grant award notification for the 2025 Kitchen Infrastructure Training Grant. Do I hear a
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Susie plus Nate. Discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. And the motion carries. Item 16.3, approve a memorandum of understanding with the City of Beaumont for the shared use of Beaumont High School pool during the summer 2026.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. Item 16.4, approve Stradling, Yoka, Carlson, and Routh LLP to provide bond counsel services for the pending election and potential authorization of general obligation bonds.
I'll move approval.
Second?
Dave. All right. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. And the motion carries. Item 16.5, approve a contract with 5M Contracting to provide immediate repair and abatement of and related services at Brookside Elementary School due to a severe roof leak and water damage, including the delegation of contracting authority to the superintendent or designees.
So moved.
Second?
Was that Lance and Melissa? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. And the motion carries. Item 17.1, approve the declaration of need for fully qualified educators for the 2026-27 school year. Do I hear a motion?
Yes, I move to approve.
Second?
All right. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. And the motion carries. Item 17.2, approve the disclosure of collective bargaining agreement between the Beaumont Unified School District and the Beaumont Teachers Association as required by AB 1200. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote.
Bless you.
Bless you.
And the motion carries. Item 17.3, approve a tentative agreement between Beaumont Unified School District and the Beaumont Teachers Association. Do I hear a motion?
Yes, I move for approval.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. Item 17.4, approve the disclosure of the collective bargaining agreement between Beaumont Unified School District and the California School Employees Association and its Beaumont Chapter 351 as required by AB 1200. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
All right, discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. And the motion carries. Almost read that one again. Item 17.5, approve a tentative agreement between Beaumont Unified School District and the California School Employees Association and its Beaumont Chapter 351.
Move approval.
Second?
Discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. And the motion carries. Item 17.6, approve a revision to the classified substitute salary schedule.
So moved.
Lance?
I'll second.
All right. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. And the motion carries. Item 17.7, consider and approve the proposed total compensation package for the Beaumont Adult School certificated employees. Do we hear a motion?
Yes, I move approval.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote.
And I just want to say, I should have said it earlier, but I'm so proud that as a district, we compensate our adult ed teachers in line with the collective bargaining agreement for the certificated. Because that's not a requirement and not a standard practice in other districts.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. Item 17.8, consider and approve the proposed salary schedule for unrepresented employee groups to include the Beaumont Administrator, Confidential, and Management employees, Assistant Superintendents, Chief Business Official, and District Superintendent. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. And the motion carries. Item 17.9. Ms. Castillo, do you need to, before we go, or, okay, please, Ms. Castillo.
President Brown, members of the board, Superintendent Kakish, cabinet colleagues, and guests. Government Code Section 54953C3 requires an oral report of the financial terms of any contract or contract amendment for local agency executives. The proposed amendment includes a one-year extension to the current contracts for all cabinet members, extending the contracts for the assistant superintendents and chief business official through 2029, and the superintendent's contract through 2030. In addition, the amendment incorporates the previously board-approved 2% salary schedule increase and the 0.5% increase to health and welfare benefits. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Castillo. All right. Item 17.9, consider and approve the amendment to the employment contract for the district superintendent.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. And the motion carries. Item 17.10, consider and approve an amendment to the employment contract for the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. And the motion carries. Item 17.11, consider and approve an amendment to the employment contract for the Assistant Superintendent of Instructional Support Services. Is there a motion?
I move approval.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Are you sure?
100%.
Hearing none, call for the vote. Okay. Sorry. Item 17.12, consider and approve an amendment to the employment contract for the chief business official.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. And motion carries.
Mr. President, I just wanted to go on record and thank the full board for their support for all of our employee units. This is at a time that everything is rising and inflation. It doesn't go unnoticed, the support from this board to our employees to continue to retain net income that can make it affordable for them to live in our town. So that is very appreciated for all employee units, including on behalf of Cabinet.
Thank you, Ms. Kakish. Item 17.13, adopt resolution 2025-26-45 to establish the maximum monthly compensation for regular board members at $2,000 effective May 1st, 2026, as authorized by Ed Code 35120 as amended by AB 1390. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yes. Can we get an explanation of why we're doing this? Because this is out of the ordinary. This is not something that we do every year. And it's a lot more than what we've done in the past. So can we get an explanation to why we're doing this so everybody understands?
Yeah, thank you, Susan.
Would you like me to explain AB 1390? And so this is a new law that came into place that allows board members to increase the compensation that has not been touched in years. As you know, there is a threshold for school districts based on enrollment in the district. And so for our district, the size of about 13,000 students, we fit into a stipend of approximately $400 per month. That has been established for years, hasn't been touched for, to my knowledge, for over 30 years. And so it has gotten increases that are allowed previously under that same law of 5% a year. This board, for the longest time, did not exercise that, so the stipend did not increase as much as the other school districts that have exercised it regularly on an annual basis. And so this law has passed to kind of catch up for all of them and give them the opportunity to do it at once. And it allows for that number to be updated from over the years. So that's kind of the explanation that we've had received of why this was advocated for at the state level.
And being a member on this delegate for CSBA, which stands for California School Board Association, which is, in layman's term, it's like the union for school board members, just like AXA is the union for principals and CTA is the union for teachers. The association lobbied the legislature to change the remuneration package because, again, like Ms. Kakish brought up, it hasn't changed since 1984. And again, for myself reflecting on this, it was not easy because I'm with Mrs. Laura. This is a big jump. But then I had to put myself back in 1984. $400 in 1984. I was working at McDonald's at $3 an hour, and I was paying 59 cents a gallon for gas. So I can see why that's there. It was probably just as big a pill to swallow back in 1984 for boards as it is now. I'm not saying this is, people get in this position for the remuneration package, but for people that are going to precede me and other board members that have been around a while, this should help compensate for parents of students, for daycare, for the amount of time that they're going to be separated from their families, and also employment. That, again, back in 1984, those same considerations were probably taken that created the benchmark. And we're at that point in time where a new benchmark is being established across the state. So, like I said, I can understand the rationale. So
I'd just like to ask, so it's the maximum is 2,000. If we don't do 2,000, can we eventually get to the 2,000, or do we have to go straight to the 2,000?
The board has the authorization to increase it to any amount up to 2,000.
Okay, because there's only a certain time frame that we can do this, is that correct?
No, you could do it at any time.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to understand the reticence,
The what?
the concern or the pushback.
Oh, well,
For someone new as myself, I'll give you a practical or anecdotal. So I came in, and said you get $400 a month, because nobody here ran for any money.
right.
Then they said you have health benefits. So if you opt out of the health benefits, you get $200, which put it at $600, but you can't get more than $400, so you couldn't opt out of the health benefits. You following me? So it actually made no sense because the stipend was so low. So I have no pushback to this.
Okay. Well, I do internally have an internal struggle with it all, so this is just a very difficult one for me because I have my reasons, and I'm not trying to be different than the rest of the board, but this one just makes me uncomfortable. So if we could do $1,000 a board meeting, so let's say we have one board meeting a month instead of two, then we only get 1,000 because it's only one meeting a month. So that way it's going to be, most of the time it's going to be 2,000. But then if you're out on vacation, you shouldn't get it, and you shouldn't get it if you don't come to a board meeting unless you're sick or something.
I think that's the current law right now. If you are absent, you have to submit an excuse for the board to approve if there's a full month that a board member doesn't attend. And that's already available for the board. What had happened in the past is most of the absences have been justified for sickness or for an unforeseen circumstance. So the board has been gracious enough to allow the stipend to happen.
But are we being compensated just for the board meeting because we do so much more?
No, it's really just for the board meeting. Doesn't matter how much more you do.
Okay.
yeah, it's board bylaw 9250. And there's an attachment of a resolution within that board bylaw that allows for remuneration to occur with board resolution if for a certain number of reasons to justify the full amount if it was excused. Also in that board bylaw, it's designed for a percentage of if you have 2 meetings a month, you would get 50%. If there's 1 meeting that month, you get 100%. But if you miss that 1 meeting a month, yeah, you got 0. So there is language already.
Unless the board waives that and authorizes it.
Through resolution.
Yeah. Just so, it's just a conflict, me personally, that's it.
I think it's just, it's really difficult talking about your own salary. It would be much, at least for me, it would be much easier if somebody else,
Well, I take solace in that a majority of the board is going to be up for election, and there's a potential, I think it takes away that conflict of interest for 3 of you, or 2 of you, or 3 of you who plan on running, so.
And that's really the thing. This is not personal or paying ourselves. This is even for future board members.
yeah, I think too, part of the discussion was the study that was done countywide was it
Yes.
county or surrounding districts?
Yeah, they did a countywide, the cabinet provided a countywide study for us. And you can continue. Sorry.
The consensus for most districts, if not all, was?
I mean, there's several districts that have already adopted it to the max. Some chose under. And there's many that are planning to do it. It was just about the timing.
This is a topic that has been heavily discussed, and so, yes. Is there any further discussion by the board?
I think just one thing too that came up in discussion was the inflation, which David, that was what you were explaining, right? No.
Yeah, this number hasn't been changed since 1984, and many boards have made increases, significantly more increases than we have over the years, but this is a very stagnant, stale number, and so the state assembly decided to bring it up to a more modern number. Not exactly equivalent to what $400 was in 1984, but closer.
Pretty close.
So if there is no further discussion, I will call for the vote. And the motion carries. Item 17.14, approve the certificated personnel assignment order listed on the report dated May 26, 2026.
Yes, I move approval.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. And the motion carries. Item 17.15, approve the classified personnel assignment order listed on the report dated May 26, 2026.
Move approval.
So,
I have to recuse myself, so. He needs a second.
A second?
You just gotta say that, Susan.
Just I have to recuse myself, so.
all right, any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. And the motion carries. Approve the administrative and confidential personnel assignment order listed on the report dated May 26, 2026. Do I hear a motion?
Yes, I move approval.
A second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. And the motion carries. Item 18.1.
Oh, we have an
Oh,
introduction.
sorry, we have an introduction. My fault. Sorry.
President Brown, members of the board, Superintendent Kakish, cabinet colleagues, and guests. We are pleased to announce the appointment of Mr. Wesley Dans as the new elementary assistant principal at Palm Innovation Academy. Mr. Dans is joining our district from the San Bernardino City Unified School District, where he is currently the MTSS TOSA, Teacher on Special Assignment. Wesley started his career in education in 2016 and has held the position of special education teacher. Mr. Dans earned his Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice from California State University, Long Beach, and his Master of Arts in Education with a concentration in special education from Azusa Pacific University. Please join us in welcoming Mr. Wesley Dans to his new position of Elementary Assistant Principal at Palm Innovation Academy.
President Brown, members of the board, Superintendent Kakish, Cabinet, colleagues, community, Ms. Lopez, and to my amazing wife and kids. Thank you so much for this incredible opportunity. Standing here today, I feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude, not just as an educator, but as a member of the Beaumont community and a proud parent within this district. My own children walk the halls at Palm Innovation Academy. To now serve as assistant principal at the very school my kids belong to is a privilege that I am beyond grateful for. I am eager to dive in and build meaningful relationships with our students, support our dedicated Panther staff, collaborate with our site leadership, and strengthen the bridge between our campus and the broader Beaumont community. My commitment is simple: to bring my best self to work every single day to ensure every child, mine and yours, has the environment they need to learn, grow, and thrive. Thank you again for your trust and for this warm welcome. I look forward to the journey ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just say, I love when we do these, I watch the family, and it just makes me so excited for you and proud that you have your family with you. And I just now saw your daughter. I didn't even see her the whole meeting. I mean, your kids are they were so well behaved, and you were here so long because we did this at the tail end of the meeting. And so I just want to say good job. You have a beautiful family, and we're so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Item 18.1, receive a report from the California School Employees Association and its Beaumont Chapter 351. There's no one present. Receive a report from the Beaumont Teachers Association.
Good evening. Good evening, President Brown, board members, Superintendent Kakish, Cabinet. Julio Martinez here with our BTA report for May 26, 2026. Well, we're almost there, the end of the 25-26 school year. It's been a prosperous year, but it's been a challenging one as well. Based on the feedback from our members, as well as the discussion at some of our rep council meetings, I'd like to outline 5 major areas of concern that the BTA has identified as possible focal points maybe for the 26-27 school year. The first one has to do with classroom safety. BTA is concerned with the aggressive nature of some of the students at all of the grade levels, really, across many of our sites, targeting both students and staff. Some of these incidents have required medical attention and workers' comp filings for staff members. We're increasingly concerned about the follow-up with the corrective measures in many of these cases, as well as the documentation process. I'll be attending the Workplace Violence Prevention Plan Review meeting this Thursday, where I'll comment on possible improvements. And students and staff, really entitled to learn and work in a violent-free environment. So we'll be addressing those as we come up to the new school year. Second, PLC and curriculum. There have been some sites that have voiced their frustration with the lack of communication between site or district admin and the site staff concerning the implementation of meaningful and equitable PLC time and the implementation of the curriculum. So we look forward to being a part of the communication process with Drs. Barnett and Gray so that the curriculum rollout itself is not overly burdening, is consistent, and has room for flexibility in the event that the modification is necessary. We also hope that PLC agendas will always have staff input. Next, for site conditions, though the sites with the mold concerns are being addressed, there are still concerns about other sites that have worsening facility conditions, including leaky roofs, internal water damage, and poorly functioning HVAC units. So BTA will continue to work with CBO San Martin and Director Mueller on addressing these ongoing concerns so that safe and comfortable environment for learning and working is maintained. Next, the AM/PM TKK. So BTA fully understands that switching to an all AM/PM model presents some challenges. We're hopeful that during our negotiations meeting this Friday, the district will listen to our concerns and address them in an MOU. An MOU is absolutely necessary to clarify, outline, and define those areas that can be ambiguous and confusing. And lastly, for the special education, BTA is concerned about the excessive amount of time it takes to evaluate students through this cumbersome process of getting to that point of evaluation. We're also concerned about the proper placement of the students as well as staff having the necessary resources to address the identified needs. So I plan to invite Ms. Toledo next year to attend our BTA Special Education Committee Zoom meeting so that our special education teachers can have an open communication with Ms. Toledo, much like Dr. Barnett did with our TKK committee. This is a part of my drive to improve the communication between the district and our members so that everyone hears the same message. To conclude my report, I want to congratulate all the individual award recipients this school year, including classified, certificated, and administrative. We've had accomplished a lot this year. We've made great improvements in assessment scores. We've had received Distinguished School Awards. We had a principal that received the prestigious and Distinguished Educator Award. Student accomplishments are vast, including our spelling bee winners and our academic decathlon winners. So I just want to say that this truly has been a prosperous year. And this concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julio. Item 18.4, receive a report from Board Member David Sanchez.
No.
And Michael Breyer, short timer. No.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Back me.
Oh, back me, sorry. I already crossed you off. I don't know what, you're already gone.
You got me already.
You already said your goodbyes last time.
Good evening, Board President Brown, Superintendent Kakish, board members, cabinet, colleagues, and community.
Dr. Breyer.
I just have a lot of thank yous and celebrations. First off, thank you for your continued support of BACME membership and all of the employees of Beaumont Unified School District. It's been a long-standing priority in Beaumont to recruit and retain the best educators in all roles. And the approval of the compensation package and the salary schedules for BACME members in alignment with compensation packages for the two bargaining units is a sign of that continued commitment. So I sincerely, on behalf of BACME, thank you for that. Thank you, Petra Rathfelder and Caden Elderson, for their service to Beaumont Unified School District as student board members. Also want to thank Dr. Chang and her team for all the work they put into the LCAP, not just the presentation tonight, but all of the work throughout the year. Dr. Chang did a phenomenal job connecting with educational partners to make this a truly collaborative process, while also spending countless hours personally working to ensure the document was clear, aligned, and most importantly, that it prioritized students. Thank you to Nathan Kamara and the Fiscal Services team for all the work that they put into not just the budget presentation tonight, but all of the work done behind the scenes to ensure everyone has the resources they need to meet the needs of our students and staff. Congratulations and welcome to the newest member of the BACME team. Wesley Dans is the new assistant principal at Palm Innovation Academy. Thank you also to the secondary teams for the work that they put into their SIPSAs and for Dr. Chang's leadership in that process. And last but certainly not least, had the opportunity to celebrate with a number of you at Senior Awards Nights last week. Those are huge community endeavors, and I want to make sure that although they are not BACME members, they are recognized. Allison Alt and Kelly Boatman, the counselors that lead those programs for both Beaumont High School and the alternative ed sites. A ton of work goes into it, so that I want to celebrate the community event and the people that lead it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you,
Breyer.
Dr. Breyer.
Short timer.
All right. Item 18.4, again, receive a report from Board Member David Sanchez.
Oh, Dr. Breyer did an excellent job there.
That's what I thought.
Oh my gosh, Dr. Breyer, you are going to be missed. I still remember running over to your site because there was some promotion going on and banning for pinball machines. Somebody got a warehouse and had 30,000 pinball machines in it, and he went to the superintendent and banning and wanted some special publicity, and my superintendent came to me and said, push this, Dave, and I said, oh, and I called you up and you said, yeah, I'll take some of the flyers, and I really always appreciate that. But I did get a report back to my superintendent saying, yeah, Beaumont's helping me out. For classroom safety, I hear you 100%. I think the whole district hears you about classroom safety. Julio, and it's just, the laws keep changing, and sometimes I wish CTA would focus more on classroom safety and what happens in the classroom instead of people's personal lives and the protocols that are being passed in Sacramento. I think CTA needs to get back to focusing on what's good for a teacher in a classroom and safe in a classroom. But I'm 100% with you there. But I'm also, I do want BTA to push that when a child does assault a teacher, they need to file charges and not back away, because it's in our nature to be forgiving. And when an officer is standing there taking a report and looks at you and said, "Do you want to file charges against this child?" 9 times out of 10 out of 10 times we say no. We just, because we're forgiving that way. But I think if the state's not going to do it for us, we have to kind of do it ourselves and support that. And again, I'm sure there's principals out there that also wish teachers would have filed a complaint and followed through with the citation that an officer has given them or has recommended. For PLCs, again, I always assume that there was a standardized practice, and there should be a standardized practice so that there's equal treatment and equitable workload when there's a professional learning community put together as that. Other than that, the other items that I heard from BTA, those seem a little bit more negotiable, so we'll keep on eye on those. It's, again, we're coming to an end. We'll see everybody really soon. I have graduation ceremonies Wednesday night. No.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Today's Tuesday. Oh my gosh. No, Thursday night. Thursday I have graduation, and I'm a speaker, so I'm glad I just thought about that right now.
Go ahead. You go, David.
Go ahead. And with that, I do want to make a recommendation to our board president, who does, in concurrence with our superintendent, to bring for discussion, and I'm not, no pressure when, board bylaw 9005. This has to do with our governance, and I want to have discussion on that about masters in governance training. That might be the appropriate place to put it. CSBA has virtual models now that are timed throughout the year, and we have not talked about that in a very long time as a board. I think it might be appropriate there, and I think it should also be addressed to reflect our new remuneration policies, so that we as board members are held accountable to knowing our job. So that's my recommendation and my little input there.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez.
Thank you.
We will look into that. Noted. Literally. All right. Item 18.5, receive a report from board member Dr. Lanston Sylvester.
Thank you, President Brown, Superintendent Kakish, Cabinet, board members, public. Dr. Breyer, appreciate you. I spoke with Dr. Breyer, and he shared, I don't want to divulge too much, but anytime you make a decision that's best for your family, and he shared with me how his daughters reacted to him being back in the county. And so I wish you much success in your new role, closer to home. Thank you, Dr. Nathan, Dr. Chang, for the reports. I want to highlight, they're not here, but Petra and Caden, our school representatives, student representatives, but I want to highlight their parents. And it's really representative of a student's success when it's school, community, and home that work together. And so if they can hear, I want to congratulate the parents on their job well done with their children, and Beaumont is better. We have a great team here, and every success, we hear a lot of the negatives, we hear a lot of the concerns, the issues, but I I just want to highlight the success of our team here, and you all actually make our work easier here as board members, so thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sylvester. Item 18.6, receive a report from Board Member Melissa Williamson.
Yes, thank you. So not this last weekend, but the weekend before, David and I had the opportunity to go to Sacramento to serve for the delegate assembly that we're a part of, and we were elected to. And at delegate assembly, the delegates, I don't know if I'm on, am I? If everybody could, okay, there we go. We have the opportunity to learn about new legislation and learn which legislation CSBA is recommending to approve or opposes. And then we also have the opportunity to each serve on a policy pillar committee and make recommendations for that specific policy pillar. And the policy pillars are to strengthen local governance, which I think is the one that David is on, secure fair funding, improve conditions of children, and ensure achievement for all, which is the one that I serve on. And so I just wanted to highlight that because we are doing work more at the state level and hoping to just bring forth some of the priorities for Beaumont and represent Beaumont, but also cumulatively for the state for improvement for our students and our districts. So that's always fun. I like that kind of stuff. Fun, not trivial, but just enjoyable. I guess I should say enjoyable.
And Beaumont has extra representation.
We do.
And other
Yeah,
districts.
we do. We have 2 delegates, which is really impressive. Yeah. So, also, I won't be here next meeting. Looking forward to the graduations. But I just want to say, have a wonderful end of the year. I'll be finally having my rotator cuff repaired, and so it's not advisable for me to come to the board meeting the next day. Although I thought it might be
fun.
Might be fun, but it's not advisable. So I just want to thank you all for all of your hard work this year. And I love seeing the principals in the audience, and I know the exhaustion at this time of year, and so hang in there. And I'm just proud to be part of this district. I really am. And I see the work that all of our different departments are doing. Gabby and special ed, I know your job is difficult, and I appreciate it very much. And I've only been on the board for about 4 years now, but it just seems to me like the LCAP reports and the budget reports are just getting better each year. I love how they're presented and the care that you take to make sure that it's just easily understandable for those of us who aren't experts like you are. And so I really appreciate that. I see you all, and I'm just so proud of Beaumont. Looking forward to seeing you all at graduation as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Dr. Sylvester wanted to add something.
I just failed to mention, want to congratulate Assistant Superintendent of HR, Jennifer Castillo, on the retirement dinner. It was a Western theme, and first time I donned a cowboy hat, cowboy outfit.
He was looking snazzy.
But it was well done, excellent time, and for you and your team, you know how to put things together, so I want to just congratulate you on the job well done.
Item 18.7, receive a report from Board Member Susie Laura.
Okay, well, I'm not going to repeat some of the things. Dr. Breyer said amazing things that I 100% agree with. So if you need to, go back and listen to what he said, because he said it great. Speaking of how he said it, we're going to lose our local DJ. I'm so disappointed. He's got that DJ voice. I was sitting at Senior Awards the other night, and somebody said something about your DJ voice. That's what I always say. So that's going to be missed by a lot of people. So, but anyways, I'm looking forward to graduation. It's always a fun time of the year. Lots of things happening, and we're getting down to the wire. So, yeah, that's, I think, all I'm going to say, because it's all good things tonight. So it's good.
All right. Item 18.8, receive a report from Board Member Jeff Brown. So we're getting close to wrapping up the year. Graduations are next week. It is a emotional time of year for a lot of parents, myself included. I want to thank all of the staff at all of the sites who have done so much work to get our kids ready for the next phase of life. One of the things that one of the sayings that I've said so many times is that every phase of life is put in front of you to prepare you for the next phase of life. So everybody in Beaumont Unified School District, our job is to assist the parents of Beaumont in creating the next generation of adults. And so as we get closer to graduation, that's kind of where my focus is like, okay, so how are we creating the next generation of adults, and how are we making responsible choices so that we create responsible adults? I've never been a fan of the phrase, I'm raising children, because nobody should be raising children. That you should end the phrase with the goal, I'm raising adults. You know, they're kids now, and I don't want to take away from that, but the purpose of the task is to raise functional adults for tomorrow, for our tomorrow, for our future. So I want to thank everyone for all of your contributions in doing that and getting us ready for graduation and all of that other stuff. I also want to thank all of the board members for all of the work that we put in this year, and cabinet and all of Beaumont. So with that, can I get a motion to adjourn to closed session?
So moved.
I'll second. Let me clarify. We're going to look at items 5.2, 5.5, 5.6, 7, and 8, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. And discussion, hearing none, call for the vote. Yes. And the motion carries, and we are adjourned to closed session. Signed.
Are we coming back up here, or can we close this up?